about how to extend your Stampede chassis. There are two different ways to extend your Stampede chassis. You can cut the frame in half and extend it in the middle, like I did here, or you can unbolt the whole back end and make a plate that moves your whole rear end back. I've tried that way and it's not that great, not that strong, and I highly don't recommend it. It will like flex side to side and it's just not good. Don't even try it. But this way is very strong, very good. All you are doing is just making it wider in the middle instead of making some weird mount that mounts in the back. Don't even try that back one. You can go buy a pre-extended chassis, which Fastlane and other companies make. They come in 1-inch and 2-inch extensions. I do have a 2-inch extension, one right here. They are aluminum and they are very strong. They are kind of pricey. They're about $60 more or less. There are a letdown that you do have to go buy hardware or find some hardware that mounts this electronic plate onto the chassis. That is the only letdown I've noticed on this. Otherwise, it comes with hardware to mount your servo and everything else, and battery straps too. There are some also letdowns, like you do have to make some sort of way to stop your battery from moving around. But that's reasonable. I'd rather deal with that instead of go buy a $60 chassis. And you do have screws sticking out that will rub on your battery, but I did make a foam piece to sit in there. It will sooner or later rub through the foam piece as it is doing here. You could just cut a new one. That ain't really that big of a deal. Now on how to do it. This is how you're going to want to extend your Stampede chassis. You are going to have to cut your Stampede chassis. I did test it on this broken piece first. It came out crooked, but as long as you put it together right, it will come out right. You're going to have to make 2 holes on each side for the bottom and 2 holes on each side for the sides. You can do more. You can do 3 on the back and probably a lot on the front. But there are only 3 areas you can put screws in. There's one right here, one right here, and one all the way back here. If you put 2 up here, they will probably mess up, break, and I don't really recommend putting them up here. So that's why I put mine all the way back here to create better support. Up front, you can put it just about anywhere you want. I put mine pretty close up because when I cut my metal, it was still kind of short, and you have to do the back side like this. But the front came all the way up to here, so I just put my 2 holes right here, and that will hold up. Bottom, just 2 holes side by side. I've seen it where they've also put a 3rd hole. You can do that, but I didn't have a big enough plate at the moment, and I didn't get enough screws either. So make sure you do cut it right in front of this hole. You can cut it right behind this hole, but I'd recommend doing it in front of this one because it is center and it looks really good after it's done. But this is how you're going to want to drill your holes after you've figured out how long it's going to be and where the area is going to be marked off at. So after you've marked right here, you obviously want to hold it up. I clamped it on with some C-clamps, and then I put a dot right on the center, like with just eyeballing it right on the center of where this metal is, lined up with this piece. And then back here I did the same. I went and drilled those out I also did the same with this. I had just marked it where I would want it to be, right in the center. And then after you drill those holes out, you just put it back up, clamp it down, then put another dot inside that hole, and that's where you'll drill out your chassis. This is the best way to do this. You can figure out some other way, but this is a decently good way. The bottom, I just eyeballed and made dots and drilled it. I should have done better and probably measured it out, but I didn't want to take all the time getting it all perfect. It does hold up fine. That won't really affect too much. I'd just like to say that this is all stainless steel. It is quite heavy after it all being stainless steel, the plates, the screws, and the nuts. You can probably get away with the bottom plate being aluminum, soft aluminum at least. If you have strong aluminum, I would use that for everything. But the fast lane is slightly lighter than this altogether. If you guys can get your hand on aluminum, I would totally recommend getting strong aluminum, because stainless steel is kind of hard to get sometimes and also quite expensive, and it is hard to cut if you don't have the right tools to do it. These screws you can get at your local hardware store. They are also stainless steel with nuts. They are locker nuts, so you should get those at your local hardware store. I have 2 on each side of everything, as you guys know, so that will be 12 altogether. You will need nuts and screws. Get the right size, because I did mistake on getting a smaller size for this. You will need lock nuts, because the smaller size, it just sits there spinning and it's just not good. So please like, subscribe, and if you don't like anything in this video, please comment, share your extended chassis, and